Hello, I'm Helena Halme and I am a writer whose book An Island Heatwave is published today. So I thought I'd read you a little bit from the beginning of the book. This is a novel in a series called Love on the Island, which is set on the starkly beautiful Scandinavian Åland Islands. And this book is really about Alicia, who, after she lost her teenage son in London, moves back to the islands where she grew up. She's now pregnant again and has been reunited with her husband after their marriage broke up, but they are now together again, and she is back on the islands. As I said, this is the first chapter. All of these books you can read them as individual standalone books, but it's obviously better if you have read the whole series. But this is book 6, and this is the start of it. The heat wave of the early summer has brought the first yachts into East Harbour. A light breeze sweeps through the masts, making the halyards rattle. The sun, already high up, is beaming from the clear blue sky. It's going to be another scorcher. The brief movement of air does little to relieve the sweltering warmth, which has created a permanent layer of perspiration on Alicia's skin. She leans back in her seat, trying to catch a waft of cooler air. She chose the table in the harbourside cafe for its full shade. She takes a sip of her large glass of iced tea, which invigorates her a little, but not enough for her to carry on into town. Alicia is taking a break after a meeting with the organisers of a summer fair at the fishing village, artisan centre a few metres along the shore. The new high-end potato chips that she and Liam have been producing since the spring crops were lifted are already on sale in 2 of the largest supermarkets on the islands, but sales have been disappointing. It was Liam's idea to start selling them at smaller shops, but Alicia is sceptical. The amount you can shift that way is minimal, but Liam says it's all about building the brand. He thinks they should give away packets for free too, but so far Alicia has only agreed to providing bowls of loose chips for people to sample. Alicia sighs and leans back in her seat. Her gaze turns towards the boats moving in and out of the long row of jetties in front of the cafe. A huge yacht, adorned with the name Babushka, manoeuvres into a parking spot at the end of the jetty closest to Alicia. As she watches the progress of the sleek white vessel, wondering how much such a monstrosity cost, she recalls that she didn't feel this exhausted the first time she was pregnant. She touches her tummy and feels a small movement within. The baby is also much more active than her darling Stefan, who had died age 17, had been. Her thoughts are interrupted by the sight of a man leaping onto a jetty from the large yacht. The man is wearing a dark sailing jacket and trousers and a navy baseball cap. A pair of mirrored sunglasses hide his eyes, but something about his bulky shape and movements, which are quicker and nimbler than his strong build would suggest, make Alicia certain that the man is who she thinks he is. Surely it can't be. Despite the heat, a sudden chill runs down her spine, and Alicia shivers. Unable to stop herself or look away, she watches in horror as the man stretches his hand out to help a long-legged blonde woman off the vessel. She's wearing tight white shorts and a blouse knotted around her midriff. Carrying a small bag in one hand and holding the woman stork-like in her high-heeled wedges with the other, the man walks along the jetty towards the cafe. Alicia is relieved that she is wearing a sun hat, a bucket-shaped pink Marimekko thing she bought in the sales last summer. It hides her face, but she still feels vulnerable. Just as a man turns his gaze toward the cafe, Alicia grabs a newspaper off the table and buries her head behind it. What is the Russian doing here? Surely Dodnikov must know he has several police forces looking for him, that he will be charged with multitude of offences if he is caught. Among them will be the threats made against Alicia and her friends and family. He's also suspected of money laundering, human trafficking, and loan sharking. The horrible events of last Christmas come clearly into Alicia's mind. How the Russian accosted her in the parking lot under Liam's apartment block in the centre of Mariehamn. How he had grabbed her neck and threatened to harm everyone she loved if she didn't agree to launder the cash through her new business. How he had kept calling her, issuing new threats, and how he had arranged the stabbing of her ex-lover Patrick, a Swedish journalist. He had even got one of his henchmen to hold her friend Britt's newborn baby hostage. He had only given up when the police began chasing him. When police began closing in on him. As had happened before, he had scuttled back to Russia, where Lisa had hoped he'd stay forever. Luckily, Britt and her partner Jukka are away from the islands, taking their new baby to visit Jukka's grown-up daughter in Sweden. For a moment, Alicia wonders whether she should message her friend and tell her that Dudnikov is back in town, but she decides against it. The last thing Britt and Jukka need is a reminder of those awful events. What is he doing here? What if he recognizes her? After several minutes, when she thinks it's safe to do so, Alicia lowers the newspaper and glances around her. She looks inside the cafe, peers around the terrace where she's sitting, and along the jetty where the babushka is docked. There's no sign of Dudnikov and the woman. Alicia turns around, carefully twisting her neck, which has begun to bother her as her belly has grown. She spots the pair walking across the parking lot of the Archipelago Hotel, up towards the centre of the town. Next, she glances at the police station, situated just a block away from the hotel entrance, through which Dudnikov is now brazenly leading his female companion. What is going on? Alicia gives another deep sigh. It's critical that Alicia and Liam are successful in their new business venture. They have already sunk a lot of money into the equipment on the farm in Sjöland, and they've reduced the quantity of crops they are growing for the large American company. The margin on their own produce is much higher, so it makes sense in principle, but only if they can shift the packets of potato chips slowly filling their newly built storage unit. Dudnikov turning up would be the final straw, Alicia thinks. She shakes her head. Her imagination must have been playing tricks on her. She gets up, holding on to her back, which is a little less sore now that she has rested. She decides that the short walk to Frida's apartment will do her good if she takes it slowly. Frida, the girlfriend of her late son Stefan, has recently returned from Romania, where she's been spending time with her new partner. Alicia hasn't seen the young woman for over 6 months, so she can't wait to catch up. She's also been missing little Anne-Sophie, Frida's daughter. For a while, a couple of years ago, Alicia had been convinced the little girl was her grandchild. Those times seem like a light years away now, Alicia thinks, and she touches her belly again. Now she's to become a mother again herself. She's glad she isn't a grandmother as well. That would just be too weird. So that's the first chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. And the book is now available in paperback, and it's also available in all of the ebook stores that you can imagine, including obviously Amazon, Google Play, Apple Books, what else? Kobo, Barnes and Noble, and all books. I can't remember them all. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.